Well, we have a serious concern with this whole sustainable development and Agenda 21 virus spreading into neighborhoods all around the world, and it's been led by these organizations like ICLEI, and according to some of my investigation, some other forms of planning like New Urbanism has some form of connection. Basically what they really are doing is they're having a lot of land use restrictions. It has involved eminent domain. There's an invasion of private property. There's not enough detached homes that they're trying to plan out that meets real demand. And they're delivering a lot of freedom for automobile traveling. And this is just totally wrong. I mean, they're totally invading people's lifestyles. And basically what they're really interested in doing is they're just want to jam packed into these centrally planned cities and shove us into these cramped units so that they can sort of control our lifestyles. And I mean, this is seriously a concern that we really need to understand and kick these policies out in our neighborhoods. And then, of course, I'm not just opposed to that. There's also flaws into a system that has dominated our cities in the last 80 years. It's a system that they're trying to replace as well. Okay, so I think sustainable development and the system that is still dominating is a concern too. Basically what it is, it's a urban planning system that involves regulated, coded, car-dependent development. What it is when it comes to new construction, new development, there's a lot of codes on street dimensions, a lot of emphasis on highways, a lot of parking minimums, parking subsidies, utility subsidies, building setbacks, building height minimums, a lot of zoning, manipulated zone planning, and all this is that it really benefits a lot of the corporations. I'll give you a history lesson. Go back to the 1930s. We were all enjoying our streetcars until these corporations like General Motors, Standard Oil, which has connections to the Rockefellers, they lobbied to get rid of the streetcar suburbs, and all these codes and zoning laws got passed. Then General Motors created the 1939 World Fair, where they wanted to create a city where all of us are driving into these mega highways where the residential and commercial, all the uses are segregated for more automobile travel. Then they lobbied to pass the Interstate Highway Act along with Robert Moses, which basically destroyed a lot of the central cities with these highways, these new developments, and basically they were sort of altering the demand for car-dependent development. So some of it was real demand, but a lot of it was sort of artificial. It was corporate meddling that really benefited the automotive, petroleum, big box retailer, fast food, and asphalt pavers that benefited from this car dependency that we have. And, this situation where you support car-dependent development or you support sustainable development, choosing one side or another, it's really an irrelevant, totally foolish argument. It's like choosing between the Gambinos or the Bananos, the Bloods and the Crips, the sociopaths and the psychopaths. And we have to come up with many systems that will meet with everybody's needs. And you know something? I guess many people are right. Our society is unsustainable. We have lots and lots of trade deficits. We import so much oil from foreign areas across the globe. We have this debt-ridden, Ponzi-schemed, fractional reserve banking system that is very unsustainable. But whose fault is that? I mean, these new policies that these sustainable developers are implementing, they're acting like we the people are to blame. But it's really these corporate fat cats that wanted us to have a high consumption lifestyle, to borrow all this money so we can be slaves to these corporate masters. They should be getting the blame. They should be put to trial, not us. And no, they're acting like the saviors to solve the problems and make things worse. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a serious concern, and I think we have done a lot of unnecessary forms of planning of our cities and designs, especially in the last 80 years. So, what's my alternative? And this is an alternative that's going to be one of the alternatives, because this is going to be one of the systems that's going to be implemented. This is where Cyrus Planning comes along. And what this really is that I'm not going to pass any codes, no regulations into councils. I'm hardly going to get any public subsidies, at least not more than 5% of the entire development. And I'm going to market this. I'm going to offer this to the people. I'm not going to force it or manipulate demand. And what I really focus on is, for an example, here's a built metropolitan area, okay? And where I come in is I build a city complex of tens of thousands of people living there as an alternative solution. So the people that want to live there or do business are the people that want to live there. So if you don't want it, then don't move in, or be my guest and compete. Again, competition is the real form of solution when it comes to planning of our cities and towns. And again, I don't want to be misunderstood. I criticize car-dependent development that involves a lot of strip malls and mega roadways. But again, I am pro-sprawl. I am pro-suburb. I am pro-single-family homes. I love single-family homes, okay? And I believe the amount that we should build should be based on real demand. I just think that the suburbs that we've done had a few flaws, had a few issues, and I think in my own empty land I should build my own dream city and provide an alternative. Okay? This is just, you snooze, you lose situation. And what this really is look, we have to provide an alternative. We have to provide a better solution. And let me make this clear. Even if you support even if you think that ICLEI and these sustainable developers are a good thing, okay? Look, I don't think anybody should disagree that they have to have some sort of competition, okay? And remember, even if you support mixed-use development, even if you support light rail, even if you support renewable energies, you should be against ICLEI Sustainable Development Agenda 21. This is not about a way to improve people's lives. This is not about providing an option. This is a force. This is control of everything we do in our daily basis. And this is going to invade people's properties rights and ways of life. Okay? So, let's provide these solutions. We could do some rail. We could do some higher density development, but it doesn't have to be in a way where other people's ways of life are invaded, and that's where my solution comes in. And my solution favors all sorts of people who want a crowded lifestyle or not a crowded lifestyle. So join me, stop ICLEI, stop sustainable development, get it out of your city councils, and remember, support my urban planning solution called Cyrus Planning. I will deliver more details, more concepts, more facts on this planning in my next video. And it's not just going to be planning. There's going to be a lot of financial improvements. We're going to do things better financially. There's going to be improvements in our education system in these newly built neighborhoods. So please, it will be a wonderful experience. We have to have bright minds. We have to create the seeds that will grow and that will be very opportunistic.